Hey guys, welcome back to Ask Snes. Hope you're all doing well. Right, okay, so new video, lots of new questions. So let's get stuck straight into the questions, see what we've got. And the first questions are from my good mate Alex, BlueTonic78. Alex's first question is, our channel should always reflect our own interests and personalities. But with that said, having too much variety can scare subscribers away, as they may not like everything you upload. Some may be happy to cherry pick and watch what appeals and ignore the rest, but others may not want to subscribe to begin with, depending on how much content you have which doesn't appeal to them. Do you think it's a case of varied channels in theory are a great idea, but not necessarily in practice? And how do you see your own channel when it comes to variety going forward? So this is something me and Alex have been talking about for quite a while actually, because both me and Alex do a variety of videos. Primarily we do gaming, but of course, you know, I also do vinyl pickups and I've done movie reviews. I've also talked about films that are coming up. So I like to talk about film a lot as well. Alex as well, he doesn't just do gaming, he does gaming, music, he does his diary videos, he does his football videos. He just does what he wants to do really on his channel, which is great. And for me as a viewer, I love that. I love the variety that Alex offers. Now, we've been discussing this for a while, as I say, and I know that the conclusion that we always come to is the fact that when some people will come across a channel, like for example, in the past I found channels by a video suggested by YouTube will say, oh, this person's got a video where they're talking about their record collection. I'll be like, great. So I'll watch that video. And then I think, oh, I wonder if they've got any more vinyl videos. And you go into the channel and they're a makeup channel, or they're something completely different, like a DIY channel or something. It's not their primary focus. They just happen to have done a vinyl collection at some point. And I suppose it's the same with us. You know, if you come to my channel and you find one of my film videos or one of my music videos, and then you click on my channel, the majority of the videos you're going to see are gaming. So you may think, well, I'm not going to bother watching any more videos or subscribing. So then the question is, do you separate the content and have multiple channels? And I've always been on the fence with it. I thought it's a good idea, but I've also thought it's a lot of work to maintain multiple channels. So I've never really explored that in the past. However, as Alex is asking about the future of my channel, Alex knows the answer to this. He's just trying to get me to talk about it on camera. So yeah, basically I have opened a second channel which is dedicated to movies. So that's reviewing films I go to see at the cinema, and I also do Blu-ray pickups, talk about upcoming films, all that kind of jazz. And I've put a couple of videos up already, 2 reviews, 1 video talking about the upcoming films of 2018 I'm most excited to see. Now, if there's anything you are actually interested in, guys, you want to see film content, please feel free, check out the channel. There will be a link down below in the description, and you might even see a card pop up here. And the channel name is very simple. It's my actual real name. So it's Peter Jones Movie Reviews. Dead simple. And the reason I've done that is just to separate the content, because I know that from looking at the view counts and the comments and things I've had, the majority of people that watch my channel and subscribe to my channel are really here just for retro gaming. They're not even here that much for the modern gaming. I know you guys do watch those videos, but the majority of content that's watched are retro game pickups and these Ask Snes episodes. So obviously Ask Snes is a bit different because it's just general, but the majority of people want to watch retro gaming videos, which I totally understand and respect. That's what I built the channel on. So I decided to make a movie channel. Now, you may ask, what about the vinyl? I haven't got to that yet. I haven't decided if I'd even go down that road. But at the moment, I'm just focusing on this channel will be primarily gaming, the other channel primarily films. So if you're interested in the film stuff at all, yeah, and you want to hear my opinions on films I go and see, bear in mind I'm not professional reviews. It's literally just me coming home from the cinema and having a chat about it, the usual kind of thing I could do on here with the gaming. So if that's your kind of thing and you like it and you've seen videos I've done before on this channel, or if you haven't, just go and have a look. So yeah, click on the link, have a look. If you like it and you want to subscribe, please do, it'd be brilliant. Right, next question from Alex. Any thoughts on this latest YouTube palaver, needing 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours worth of views, etc.? And sticking on the YouTube theme, if they ever introduced a flat monthly fee to watch videos from other members, would you consider it or tell them to jog on? Yeah, so I think it was about a week ago now, I saw a tweet from a couple of people, and apparently YouTube had sent some emails out to a lot of smaller channels where they've changed their terms and conditions so that now, in order to remain a YouTube partner, you have to have 1,000 plus subscribers and you have to have had in the last 12 months 4,000 watched minutes in your analytics. So a lot of people got those emails. A lot of people were not happy about that, of course. And as far as I could understand, of course, it takes away monetization, which is a problem for a lot of people. I respect that. I don't have any problem with monetization. I do it myself, so I can't have a problem with it. And I think there was going to be some other features taken away, but I think it was Tweet the Shred Lloyd I watched the other day who mentioned, I'm sure it was Lloyd, probably was. Anyway, I watched the video and it was mentioned that basically that's probably not the case. The features aren't going to be taken away. It's more about the monetization being taken away than anything else. So of course a lot of people are upset about this, and rightly so. It does look like YouTube are just targeting the smaller channels. I'm quite lucky in the fact that when I check my analytics, obviously I've got more than 1,000 subscribers anyway. I knew that already, and I check my watch minutes, and I'm over the 4,000 minutes. So I'm keeping my partnership, which is great. But I do feel for the rest of you guys with smaller channels, because I don't think it makes a lot of sense, really. I understand it probably makes sense to them from a business point of view for Google, but in terms of actually keeping YouTube going, it's not a good idea, because the whole point of YouTube in the first place was a hobby thing. It was just normal people to get on camera, post their videos and have a bit of fun. Of course, it's become a lot more commercial. It's more about big business now and about making YouTube more like a TV station, which I don't particularly like the idea of, and it kind of annoys me a little bit when I'm watching some videos. But, you know, it does feel like they're pushing the hobbyists out of the YouTube arena, which is why we need alternatives, and VidMe is now gone, apparently. I think that's what I was watching Novabug Chris the other day, and I'm pretty sure he said it had gone down. So I'm sure something else will spring up, but, you know, like eBay, trying to defeat these big companies is really difficult to try and come in now when they're well established. But it's a real shame they've had to go about it so heavy-handedly, but it is Google, and they tend to do that. Right, okay, next up, let's see, so we've got a couple of questions from Nat Kennedy Breeze over in New Zealand. Hello, Nat. And first question, what mistakes do you think DC made with their universe when compared to Marvel? Right, so first of all, if anyone's never seen my videos before, I'm a massive DCEU fan. I love the DC films. Get that out of the way, because otherwise someone will slag me off in the comments. So what I would say, probably being objective, I think really what they should have done, and as far as I remember from going back a while, when they made BVS, in the process of making Batman v Superman, they decided they were going to create a DC universe, and therefore incorporated Man of Steel into Batman v Superman, which is why Batman v Superman begins where Man of Steel ended, with the Superman Zod fight destroying the city. And of course we see Bruce Wayne seeing Wayne Tower getting destroyed, and that's what spurs him on to start hating Superman, which then causes friction for the fight. I think really what they should have done was do a Batman film first, and do the Marvel. I mean, I know some people don't think it was necessary to do the Marvel style where you do solos and then you do a team up, but I think it would have worked better if they were going to incorporate the Man of Steel into the universe. They should have just done the Man of Steel, Batman film, Wonder Woman film, and then obviously they were heading towards the Justice League. And if they were going for the Justice League that they've gone for now, so we'd have to do an Aquaman film, which we've got coming, obviously, a Cyborg film, and a Flash film, and then do the Justice League. I think that would have probably worked better for the general audience as well, because, you know, I'm not a comic book guy, so I'm learning as I go as well. Obviously, I've watched the Batman films and TV shows and Superman ones as well, and the Flash TV show. But Aquaman, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, I mean, Wonder Woman to me is Linda Carter, like a lot of people. That's what I grew up with, so I don't know this Amazonian version of Wonder Woman, which is apparently the proper version. So I think it would have been made more sense if they'd just done the solos and then carried on from there and done Justice League, and then done all these other ones that they're talking about, like when they're talking about Justice League Dark, Birds of Prey, and all these Harley Quinn spin-offs, and this standalone Joker film by Scorsese they were trying to do. They're doing so many different films. Was it Black Adam, Shazam, all this sort of stuff they're coming up with. It's like, just slow it down. That's the main thing they need to do right now, is just to calm down and have a focus. And there's a lot of talk about rebooting the universe. And honestly, looking at the numbers for the box office in the US, domestic box office in America and Canada, every film, the box office has dropped. So people have lost interest as the films have come out. The general audience, that is. So realistically, you have to look at some kind of reboot, if it's a soft reboot or a full hard-on reboot. They need to do something. But they're going ahead, they're ploughing ahead. They've got Flashpoint, well, they've got Aquaman coming out at the end of the year. They've got Flashpoint in the works, which most people seem to think is going to be some kind of soft reboot where they change Batman because Ben Affleck's leaving. So, yeah, that's more than likely what they're going to do. I mean, personally, even though I absolutely love what we have at the moment, I think the universe is fantastic. And I was really happy that they're continuing as a selfish fan. But realistically, as an objective movie fan, I think what they should have done was just done a Batman film. The Matt Reeves Batman film that's in development, or another one. But whatever you want to do, just do a really solid Batman film, because the majority of people in the movie-going world whether if they're not, whether you're a comic book fan or not, but the majority of general people don't know much about it like me. So, but Batman and Superman are iconic. Everybody knows who Batman and Superman are. And if you do an absolutely rock solid Batman, that would have been a great starting point to jump off into the other films, and then, continue the universe, and then do whatever you want to do with the universe. Just change it. But, they are doing what they're doing, and it's more likely they are going to do Flashpoint. I don't really have a problem with that. The only thing I know from Flashpoint is what they did on TV. Worked really well. So, yeah, fingers crossed it all pans out. I'm excited to see what the future is. Now we've got Walter Hamada, who's taken over as well. And he comes apparently from like a horror background. So I'm hoping that means we're going to continue with this dark theme that Zack Snyder was trying to do, which would be absolutely fantastic. Probably won't happen. Justice League was far too light, unfortunately. Good film, but not great. Not as good as BVS anyway, or Man of Steel for that matter. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the DC universe. It's a shame that it has happened the way it has happened, and it's split opinion. But we shall see. That's a long answer, wasn't it? Right, okay, what was it like watching the original Star Wars films after assuming you wouldn't like them for years and ended up really liking them? It was actually quite refreshing, to be honest. If anyone that doesn't know, I grew up in a Star Trek household. My dad loved Star Trek, didn't give a shit about Star Wars, still doesn't give a shit about Star Wars. Even though I got him to watch Force Awakens, he still thinks it's crap. So, so yeah, in 2015, I think, was it 2015 or 2016? It was 2016 when did Force Awakens come out? No, it was 2015. Force Awakens 2015, Rogue One 2016, and then we had Last Jedi in 2017, that's right, yeah. So yeah, Christmas 2015, I knew that Force Awakens was coming out, and I thought I'd force myself to sit down and watch the first 6 Star Wars movies. I wish I hadn't watched the prequels, but there you go. And yeah, I wanted to try and really sit down and really make an effort, because over the years I've seen bits of them on TV and they always look silly with the animals and the weird creatures, and I was like, nah, it's not for me. It's just silly fantasy sci-fi. I like proper sci-fi. But I sat down and watched them, and I actually loved them. They were the versions that George touched up and added extra new effects and all of that. But I really, really enjoyed the first 3 films, and now I think they're absolutely fantastic movies. The prequels, as I say, are trash, basically. I mean, 2 and 3 are barely watchable, but number 1, The Phantom Menace, is absolute bollocks. But yeah, but it was good, man. It was good to sit down and watch them finally, and to actually get a proper perspective on them, and not just judge them as being shite without actually watching the full films. And then, of course, saw Force Awakens, Rogue One, Last Jedi. I love them all brilliant. So yeah, I've been converted to Star Wars. What do you make of crystal meth being classified as a Class B drug in America when cannabis is a class drug? Well, I think he's missed out. I think you've missed out what class marijuana is. I'm assuming that. I mean, how the hell crystal meth can be a Class B makes no sense. I'd have thought it'd been Class A, but maybe it's different in America. Surely marijuana is a B drug, or even a C, or it's got, it's only weed in it. But yeah, I mean, if they're classing meth as less harmful than weed, then there's a problem. That doesn't make any bloody sense. Have you ever considered starting a business of some kind? Yeah, in the past I have. Retro gaming business, of course. I would love to have done that, but it's so expensive and so difficult to get into. You've got to get loans, you got to get property, pay rent and all that, and you've got to try and find stock. And nowadays, everyone's doing retro gaming, so forget it. But yeah, I have thought about it. Is there any kind of music you despise with a passion? Just drum and bass, really. That's it. That's the only music I just cannot listen to. Most music, even if I'm not a massive fan of it, I can listen to it and it doesn't bother me. Like, I be for dance music. Not my thing, but there's a couple of tunes that are alright. And the odd one sounds decent on the radio. It doesn't bother me at all, but drum and bass is shite. I can't stand it. I mean, like proper underground drum and bass with the twat talking over the record, the DJ. I hate that. Commercial jungle, that was brilliant. Love that. Absolutely hate drum and bass. Right, thank you very much, Nat. Okay, let me see what we got next. Right, now this is obviously a fake account, but we'll go with it because it's a reasonable question. So from someone calling themselves Donald Duck, who's clearly got nothing on their channel and is clearly a troll, but whatever. Do you think that the YouTube gaming scene has changed a lot since you were doing videos regularly? And if you're not a troll and you've just created a new account, apologies. But I'm getting a lot of people do that lately, so there you go. Yeah, so do you think that the YouTube gaming scene has changed a lot since you were doing regular videos? Well, it depends on what you mean by the gaming scene. In my circles, it's the retro gaming scene. And the only thing that's really happened is a lot of people that I watch don't really upload that often now, if at all. A lot of them have disappeared for some reason, which is a real shame. And Other than that, the community itself seems to be a little fractured. People are in their own little groups. It's not like it was back when I started in 09, where everyone pitched in. And it's been said many times, but it is true. It is down to not having tag videos, not having shout outs, Google making it more difficult to do that as well. Because in the old days, when you did a tag video, you could attach the video as a response to your video on your channel, which was brilliant, because then you could go onto someone's video and you can see all of the responses. It was fantastic. And it built a real sense of community. But of course, they sold it to Google, and Google are shit, and they buggered it up. So what can you do? Right, Mark Sager sent me one. Thank you, mate. A couple of questions for Mark. And the first one is, do you miss getting stuck? I miss getting stuck. I miss getting stuck in games and not knowing what to do. I miss how we would have to use our brains to conquer a level, use a strategy, or maybe just give in. Everyone can beat anything these days, what with YouTube and the sudden urge to cheat, glitch, etc. The point is, does anyone actually complete games on their own merits these days? Are you a fan of cheating, or do you prefer the challenge? I prefer the challenge to a degree. Most modern games I can just get through. They're a piece of piss. You don't need to really challenge yourself, and I don't get stuck. The only time I get stuck is if I'm playing like Uncharted and like the puzzles, and the first time I play the game, especially like Lost Legacy recently, drove me insane, and I just give up. I just went, stuff it. My brain don't work with puzzles. I'm going on YouTube and getting the result. Other than that, the game's a piece of piss to get through. Old games, retro games, it's a bit different, because I feel like it's usually my own fault, or I'm just not understanding what to do. And then when I do work it out and I click, it's brilliant, because I feel like I've accomplished something. You know, as I said in the previous video, when I played through Mega Turrican, and I got to that bit after the Geiger, the first part of the Geiger level, and you have to run and jump, and the screen's put, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't work out what I was doing wrong. And eventually I realised you just got to just go for it. And it does pay off when you get to the end, and it was really, really good. I felt great after I'd done it. So yeah, so I don't really miss getting stuck, because it can be bloody frustrating and stop me playing a game that I'm really enjoying, especially with modern games. I've had it in the past where I've got stuck and I've just got, screw this, and I've put it down and I haven't come back to it for weeks or at all. So that's not a good thing. So in general, I do all right there. Do you buy any gaming or movie magazines, and which one? If so, which ones? I don't, mate. Do you ever buy in CEX, in-store or online? Not really, no. I've been into CEX Western a couple of times, that's it. And they don't really have a lot in there that interests me. I mean, a lot of the stuff, I don't have Xboxes and PS2s and all that anymore, so that's mostly what they get. And most of the stuff's not in the greatest shape anyway. Online, I don't trust them, because I've seen many people in the community buy games from them, retro games, and it's a bit of a crapshoot with the Snes stuff. And, you know, when you're talking big bucks like 90, 100 quid, it's risky. Sometimes it pays off. Retro Ranger Ian got some really, really good deals on a couple of games like Mega Turrican, like Super Turrican. He got Biker Mice from Mars. So there are possible chances that you will get a good one, but I can't be paying them kind of monies on a risk when they've got no photographic evidence. You just have to take their word for it. So no, I don't buy from CEX. Number 4, you mentioned that you live around the southwest. I visited CEX in Weston a few months ago. They had an upstairs with arcade machines, retro consoles to play, and a cafe bar. Have you ever been? As I said, yeah, I have indeed. And yeah, they've got a fake Donkey Kong cabinet in there that they had someone make for them. And last time I was in there, they had the Donkey Kong cab, and they had a massive TV with a PS4 and everything you could play modern stuff on as well. And they got, as you said, they got the bar as well. And I was talking to the bloke behind the bar about what was going on in there, which was quite cool. Yeah, it's really nice actually the way they've done it, because the bottom is just the standard CEX with the case with the phones and the tablets and shit. But you go upstairs and it's a full game in there, and it's really, really nice. So if anyone's ever in Western Supermare, check out the top floor of CEX, because it is actually a really cool chill out place. Right, next one is from Scola 1. Thank you for the question, mate. Tough one, but music, film or video games, in which order? Music at number 1, without a doubt. I'll be honest with you, films and games are on the same level. I can't honestly split them, because I love them equally. And I know that's a cop-out, but it's true. It's not possible to really put them in either order. I couldn't say I love films more than video games, or video games more than films. It's a tough one, but yeah, I draw them, and music is, without doubt, number 1. Nothing's better than music. Right, have we got any more questions? Let's have a look. It ain't looking too good. Right, okay, so we ain't looking like we've got too many left. Right, okay, here we go. Question from Heavenly Glory. What did you get for Christmas? And I expand his question. The bloody tablet throws me back to the top of the screen, as always. Right, what did you get for Christmas? So yeah, mostly I was Switch behind me, obviously, but for the most part it was music and film. So I got a couple of records. I got Bob Marley's Legend, the 180 gram remaster. I got the latest George Michael record, which I've forgotten the name of, and I also, which was absolutely awesome because I couldn't find, there was an album I wanted that was coming out, and it looked like I wasn't going to be able to get a copy of it, and my mum and dad managed to grab me a copy, and I was so chuffed. And it's the new Tim McGraw and Faith Hill album. I don't remember the name of it. I'm crap with album names, but it's absolutely fantastic. So I was really chuffed to get that. I also got some 4K Blu-rays as well, which I'm actually not going to talk about because I'm going to put them on my other channel. So if you want to see what I did get for Christmas, they'll be on there because I'm going to do a Blu-ray pickups video. Right, Wiz Gamer asks, what is your favourite game on the PlayStation 1? Mate, that is just such a hard question to just pick one game. But I would probably say if I'm going to pick one game, obviously Metal Gear Solid had a massive impact at the time. But if I'm truthful, one game that I really impressed me at the time when it came out was Medal of Honor. I really liked that game a lot. I bought it not knowing what it was because it was a pirate copy. I just picked it off a list. And I remember getting it. It was an American version at the time. And I was so impressed with the way they laid the story out, the little... the pages at the beginning you skip through, it's all text, but then they also had the video as well from World War II to give you a context. I thought that was absolutely fantastic at the time. It's so refreshing, and the World War II era is just really fascinating to me anyway. And the game itself was really, really fun. You know, it wasn't just shooting people as well. You got the areas, the section where you have to go around with your papers and you have to try and sneak around a little bit. That was really good. It was a fantastic game. So yeah, I'd probably go Medal of Honor actually. Okay. Also, do you think the price of retro games will hit a ceiling and go back down to more reasonable levels? I doubt it, to be honest. I mean, we've been saying for years it probably will hit its peak and a break at some point, but it hasn't yet. It continues to rise on a lot of systems, and some systems that the prices were pretty reasonable, they're now starting to rise as well. But then I've also noticed some games that were quite expensive a while back, Space Megaforce on the SNES, for instance, the US version of Super LS. I've seen that in the UK going for nearly half. Well, yeah, about half of what it used to go for in America. So some of the games are dropping as well. It's all up and down with everything. I mean, you know, I'm amazed by Mega Drive games are not expensive, you know, for the most part. There's a few that are expensive, of course, but the majority are reasonable. Unlike SNES, where a lot of it is expensive. So I don't think it's ever going to hit a ceiling until people get sick and tired of buying them, to be honest with you. Right, let me see. Have we got anything else? Right, and Mr. BCHQ wants to know, what do I do for a job and is it full time? Well, in all honesty, mate, I can't actually tell you what I do for a job, and the reason for that is because I work for the government. So there you go. So yeah, that's it. That's the last question. So thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate all the questions. Hope you found this video interesting and the answers were good enough, entertaining enough. So if you do have a question, as always, please just leave it in the comments down below, and I will answer that in the next video, the next Ask Snes episode. And of course, if you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Always a nice thing to do, isn't it? And if you want to see more videos, just click on subscribe and hit that bell, because otherwise it won't remind you. Thanks for watching, guys. Really do appreciate all the questions, the interaction and the views. All great people. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Ask Snes.